What if I told you that permanent residency is being sold like concert tickets and data privacy is an illusion and global exchanges are going on the blockchain? Today, we're going to look at these 5 stories where most people would look at these stories separately, but together they tell a tale of where the globe is moving. Because residency is becoming more transactional, data is becoming more like currency, and sovereignty is being repriced. So let's break it down in today's top 5 for Wednesday, January 21st. First up, Saudi Arabia has just made one of the most aggressive moves in the world of global residency. The Saudi Premium Residency, often called the Saudi Green Card, has been slashed to just 4,000 SAR per year for certain categories. This is roughly 1,000 USD a year. But this isn't citizenship, but it is long-term legal residency with benefits that's used to be unthinkable in the Gulf. You can live, work, own property, and operate without a local sponsor. So why does this matter for you? Because Saudi Arabia is no longer trying to keep people out. It is effectively competing for global talent, capital, and influence. This is Vision 2030 in action, and it signals something bigger. Residency is no longer about immigration. It is about economic participation. Next up, we have Sao Tome and Principe, our favorite little country, which has just opened up its borders to citizenship and investment, and within the first few months now, is already processed over 98 applications. You could be next. That number might sound small, but for a nation of its size, it's very significant. It proves one thing: there's a real global demand for alternative citizenships, especially outside the usual Caribbean names. People are not just buying passports for travel, they're buying options. Options to leave, options to bank, options to reset. And this is not speculation, it's behavior. Next up, you have USA, where apparently someone in the Trump administration has announced that within one single day, they've already sold 1,000 gold cards for permanent residency. Whether you like the idea or not, what matters is the signal. Permanent residency in the United States is now being openly discussed as a premium product. It's not a right, it's not a humanitarian pathway, it's a product. And when residency becomes a product, it becomes scarce in design. This is the same model used by the UAE, Singapore, and even Saudi Arabia. The US is not behind, but it's definitely adapting. Next up, while we're in the States, while a lot of people are still looking at passports and visas, the New York Stock Exchange has announced that it's now going to be moving towards blockchain-based markets. This comes to a surprise as many, but this is not crypto. This is not infrastructure. Blockchain-based settlement means faster trades, fewer middlemen, and transparent ownership, aka more tracking. But it also means something else. Assets become easier to tokenize, ownership becomes easier to track, and borders matters less. Capital is becoming as mobile as people, especially the ones with global sovereignty, with the keys to freedom. Next up, let's talk about digital freedom. You know, many people believe that turning off Google's smart features and personalization protects their privacy. Guess what? It doesn't. Google owns terms of service and privacy policy makes this very, very clear. Even with smart features turned off, Google still retains the right to collect, process, store, scanned and indexed your data. Why? Because they define it as necessary for service delivery and, here's a key word, security. You should know that very well. So whether you turn this on or off, your emails are going to be scanned for spam and malware. Your inbox is indexed so you can search it. Your content is stored and processed by default. The smart features toggle only limits optional personalization. It doesn't revoke Google's core data rights. It's not a conspiracy. It's written in the policy, and it tells us something important. Digital sovereignty is just as important as physical residency. And this also reminds me of all those videos you're seeing like on TikTok and Instagram, where people are saying, oh, AI is scrolling through your messages and your data. It's to personalize the way AI responds to you. It doesn't stop Google and their services from actually scanning your information. The only way to do that is just not to use the service. But who's going to argue? Because it's a great service. You just got to use it wisely. So let's connect the dots. Saudi Arabia is lowering the barrier to residency. Financial markets are going on chain. Small nations are monetizing citizenship. The US is testing premium access, and big tech still owns your data, regardless whatever setting you choose. So freedom today is very modular. Where you live, where you're a citizen, where your money sits, who controls your data. If you only have one option in each category, you're going to be exposed. This is why second residency, second citizenship, and proper offshore structuring are no longer luxuries. They are risk management. And if you want to understand how to structure this correctly without bad setups or future exit problems, you got to reach out to us. Because in this new world, the price of freedom is going up. And the prepared are always going to pay less.
This video is sponsored by Bond & Partners. Looking for a second passport? At Bond & Partners, we fast-track citizenship in just 2 to 6 months. We also help you secure residency and establish companies in the world's most strategic jurisdictions. Bond & Partners, where sovereignty begins.